Welcome back to another market update video. Today we're going to be having a look at Dubai Hills, in particular the 3-bedroom 2M property variants. Now behind me we can see that we're looking at the period over the last 14 weeks. So normally I would do these updates every 6 to 8 weeks, but this has been a little bit longer, so there's quite a few more transactions. On the first page I've broken down the sales transactions in Maple 1, and in the next slide we'll go through Maple 2 and 3. But just an overview before we get into that, we've seen a total of 13 transactions, and they've happened at 2.9 to 3.175, which is the highest sales transaction in that period. Now regarding rentals, what I've done is I've just gone through the new contracts. As many of you will know, if you've watched any of my last videos, a lot of these units have been renewed at sort of 105 to about 120, 130, depending on the exact situation with the tenant. So the last 30 contracts that have been new contracts in the place over those 14 weeks have happened between 190 and 250,000 dirhams. So let's get into the sales transactions. So as I mentioned, 2.9 million to 3.175. In the previous video, we were looking at, a really small gap between 2.965 and 3.05 million. 3.05 million has been a number that we've seen over the last few videos, in fact, as the highest transacted value. But now we seem to have broken those numbers over a few transactions. And in the next video, once a few more properties have gone to transfer, you'll see a few more also. So as usual, we'll go through the individual transactions and see what has actually sold over the last 14 weeks. So the first property is number 162. And now this property is facing towards the camel track. So that's protected land, not going to be built on. Just a bit further over in this direction, you have the substation. So that's something to bear in mind. That sold for 3.05 million, standard plot size, in fact a tiny bit smaller, and it was rented afterwards at 225,000 dirhams, and that's from November. Second one, this is a really interesting one because this is the highest value property that has sold in the last 14 weeks, 3.175, which is a phenomenal amount, especially considering what you're getting. It's a single row property. The only thing that we have to bear in mind is the petrol station is just here, and of course you have the supermarket. So it would be interesting to see where that one transacts again. And also the rental value is 95,000, and that is till January 23, so more or less now. So we don't know if there's a notice in place for that particular property, but I'm assuming, considering the sales price, I would have thought that would be vacant quite soon. Now, 469, which is this property over here, it's a greenbelt property. It's actually a really great part of the community. Of course, just over here you have, picnic areas. You have some really nice landscaping as well. Standard plot size, rented till May 23 at 125,000 dirhams. Number 570. It's a back-to-back unit. This sold at 3 million, standard plot size. This was rented just after it was taken vacant. I know this property, and that's rented at 220,000. This did have a few upgrades. The garage door was closed, and so just a few additional bonuses, but sold vacant, good price, and that was towards the earlier point of the 14 weeks. The next property is number 542. This is just here. Now this location is fantastic because it's a pathway and landscaped area between Maple 1 and 2. In some of the original plans, it's seen as a road, but that's a really great property. I've actually sold one this week just on the other side, which is also a great buy. Just sold just under 3 million. And there's a long-term tenant. There was no notice in place till June 23, and it was rented at 120,000. Let's now look at Maple 2 and see some of the transactions that have happened here. So firstly, we'll start off with the back-to-back units. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 units over here, and then we'll go through the Maple 3 back-to-back unit on the other side afterwards. But number 85, this is a property that I sold personally. This was sold at 2.9 million. There was a tenant in there long term, so there was no notice served, nothing in place basically, and they were paying 110,000. We've actually negotiated a deal for them to receive some sort of compensation, and I helped negotiate that deal. So now that is a vacant unit, a fantastic price, especially considering the location. These back-to-back units, you know, they're right at the top of the community, quick exits, and of course, you know, for younger families, this is great because they can get to the pool very quickly, especially important, you know, in the summer months. Second one, sold at 3.1, number 124, rented till February 23 at 102. And then you've got these two transactions here, 2.95, 3 million, both standard plots. And this one's rented at 175, and this one's rented at 123 till April and June. Good locations, again, for the reasons I've just said. This one in the middle here, this is facing towards the Sidra community, the independent villas on the other side of the road. It's hit or miss, you know, with clients if they want to go for something that's road backing. You know, of course you get the privacy, but then of course you get some of the road noise as well. So 2.95 million, great price considering where the market is at the top now. Rented till September 23 at 120,000. This Greenbelt property here, number 258, this one closed at 3 million, and it's actually a larger plot size, very slightly larger than the standard plot size over here. So that's a great property, and 3 million is a great price. Maple 3, we've got 131, which is a property I personally sold. Now this is rented till May 23, and that's rented at 125. The great thing about this particular property is this has to be one of the best parks in the entire Maple community. Here it's displayed as a road, but of course if you've been to Maple, you'll know that this is no longer a road. You've got, you know, cricket nets, you've got volleyball, you've got a massive park there, you've got a dog park there. It's a really lovely place, especially in the evening. You know, we've got sunset in this sort of direction, so you can, you know, enjoy the sunset, a nice walk in the evening. So great location. And then the final transaction, which is this one here. This is number 280 in the great part of the community. This is, you know, backing onto a green area, a slightly larger plot at 2,174. And that one's rented till February 23 at 135,000 dirhams. So now, as we move forward, a few things that we're looking out for. Of course, America have announced an increase of 0.5%, and of course we're just waiting for the reflection on this side to see what happens. Is this going to deter some buyers? That's obviously waiting. We're waiting to see that. We've just come through to the new year, 2023. Happy New Year. And it's going to be interesting to see, of course, a lot of people are away on holiday at the moment. As they come back, what is the market going to do? As usual, if you do have any questions, or if you just want to reach out to discuss anything about any properties in Dubai Hills, my WhatsApp telephone number is in the description. If you would consider subscribing as well, of course, it will just keep you informed about all the latest videos that we've got on the channel. I'm also starting to do, you know, walkthrough videos presenting different properties in Dubai Hills. So you may want to see some of what's new and some of the properties and some unique properties there. But have a lovely day, and thank you very much for watching. Take care.